Hey guys, it's Tom here, coming at you with another video. Today I'll be talking about a CG cartoon movie from a couple years ago. It's called Starship Troopers Invasion. It's based on the the whole Starship Troopers movies were based on the Robert Heinlein novel from, geez, I don't know what year it came out, but it's a pretty old book. But this is the third sequel to the original Starship Troopers movie, which came out in 1997. It was directed by Paul Verhoeven, who's most famous for directing RoboCop, the original RoboCop, the good RoboCop, not the disappointing remake. Yeah, like most people, I hadn't even heard of Starship Troopers until Verhoeven's movie came out in '97. Although years later, I read the novel, um, and the thing is, the movie, Verhoeven's movie, I like it. I think it's a good movie. The thing that the only thing that bothers me about that movie is it removes the power armor from the story. I mean, the anyone who knows anything about Starship Troopers knows that the soldiers, they don't just have guns; they have mech suits that they fight in, basically, and that's kind of like one of the main things of the novel. And then in the movie, they just take that out. They take it. They're just regular soldiers with guns, and without the power armor, it kind of, I mean, it's almost like, why make a Starship Troopers movie? That's one of the main features of the novel. So to take that out, and I know why they did it is because in 1997 it just wasn't practical. I mean, it would have been, probably would have cost too much. So they were trying to save money, and plus, CGI was still relatively new. They couldn't. I don't know if they could do the mech suits back then in '97. I'm sure they could today. I heard there was talk of making another adaptation of the Starship Troopers novel, and this time they'd have the power armor and try to make it more like the original book, more like the source material. Yeah, this movie, it's a CGI cartoon, a computer generated image, um, and it's basically like those cutscenes you see when you're playing a video game. It's basically like one of those, just stretched out, and there are no game parts. There's no parts where you have to play. So I hope I hope you don't mind watching a video game cutscene for I forget how long this movie is. I think like an hour and a half or something. But I know that might scare away some people. But me, I don't. It doesn't bother me. Okay, so I talked about, yeah, the power armor. Starship Troopers, the novel, had a major influence on a lot of Japanese anime, specifically Mobile Suit Gundam, and basically really any mecha anime from Japan. Um, but yeah, I know specifically Gundam. The creator of Gundam said that one of his main influences was Starship Troopers by Robert Heinlein, and I mean, Gundam itself influenced all these other shows. And Japan loves robots. Yeah, but this movie, again, it's not based on the novel. It's based on the Verhoeven movie, or movies, I should say, because they made two live action sequels, um, which went direct to video. They weren't released theatrically. Yeah, again, the action in this movie, I thought it was cool. It would have been cooler with power armor. It would have been nice to see more robot suits. Although there is power armor in the movie. Towards the climax of the movie, Johnny Rico, who's a general now, he's been promoted, but he does use a mech suit, and was he the only one? I can't remember, but there is a little bit of power armor towards the climax of the movie. But for the rest of the movie, it's just guys with guns shooting bugs, which is cool. As I say in my written review, I'll take a war between a bunch of guys that look like Master Chief fighting a bunch of giant bugs. I'll take that any day of the week. That's cool. I was glad to see that, but it would have been cooler with the power armor. So it kind of sucked that there was very little power armor, almost none, and it should be nothing but, really. This film mixes in some new characters, some new recruits. but they're mostly pretty forgettable, pretty disposable. And it does have the three main people from the Verhoeven movies. The main character, Johnny Rico, again, he's been promoted to a general. He does show up, and it has his love interest slash she's like a Starship pilot, Carmen Ibanez, and then their friend, the psychic, who was played by Neil Patrick Harris in the Verhoeven movie, Carl Jenkins. He shows up too, but he's kind of portrayed as more of a villain in this. I mean, he's doing psychic experiments with some of the bugs, and basically a queen. I guess he had a queen that he was doing experiments on or something, and she got loose, and she's hijacked this ship, the Starship, that's headed towards Earth. And if it gets to Earth, there might be a contamination. So these troopers are trying to stop this queen from getting to Earth. That's the main plot. There's some other shit that happens, but that's really all you need to know. Yeah, the other characters, most of them don't survive. The new characters, I mean, the three main ones, yeah, they're fine, but all or most of the new recruits don't survive the end of the film, and that's fine by me. I was not really attached to any of them, so I didn't mind it when they were all killed off. In fact, it's fun to see some deaths, like watching a Friday the 13th movie or something. Um, the actor Casper Van Dien, who played Johnny Rico in the '97 movie, he's a producer on this, or is listed as a producer, and also the guy that wrote the script of the original movie. His name's Edward Neumeier. But again, since Casper Van Dien, he doesn't voice Johnny Rico in this. He's just listed as a producer. So it's like, why is he even in? I mean, and Edward Neumeier, I doubt he had anything to do with the script. It's just they're attaching names from the original movie, I think, to try to sell it to fans, and it feels like a kind of a meaningless gesture. Um, but yeah, other than those two, there are no other talents from the original movie or the other two involved in this. So you don't get to hear no Neil Patrick Harris, no Denise Richards. Although who gives a shit about listening to her? I don't. The like in terms of new ideas of adding stuff to the story or to the mythos of the Starship Troopers universe, like the only thing I thought was kind of new or kind of cool was Carl Jenkins. He's a psychic because there are psychics in the world of Starship Troopers. He can use his powers. He's been doing these experiments, and these experiments have allowed him to psychically control some of the bugs. He can kind of take their. I guess they have brains. He can control their minds, and he actually uses some of the queen's bugs against her. So it's kind of a cool scene where you get to see bugs fighting bugs. But other than that idea, it's pretty. I mean, the movie's pretty much an excuse to see somewhat generic-looking sci-fi guys shoot giant bugs, and that's. I mean, that's okay. I didn't mind watching this movie, but it's not. I'll talk about that later. But if you like CG cartoon movies from Japan, there's how many Appleseed movies now? And there was Halo Legends, and there were two Resident Evil CG cartoon movies, which I own one of them. I have the first one. Then if you enjoy those kinds of stuff, you'd probably like this. You might like this. But really, this was made for fans of Starship Troopers, the original '97 movie, and the book, especially the book. People who just fans of mecha, basically. I mean, I'm really the reason I'm interested in Starship Troopers is because of kind of its influence it had on other stuff, like Gundam. I'm a big Gundam fan, and other Japanese mecha. I love robots, so that's the main reason I kind of read the novel and was watching this movie. I mean, it's such an influential work in the world of sci-fi. You kind of want to see when it gets its own movie or its own TV show, like with Starship Troopers Chronicles. No, I'm sorry, the title was Roughnecks Starship Troopers Chronicles. I mean, when it gets its own thing, you want to check it out as a fan of mecha. But this again doesn't have much mecha, so it's kind of little disappointing, but yeah, this movie made for Starship Troopers fans. And even then, even to like diehard Starship Troopers fans, I can only give this a mild recommendation. This is not, something you have to see. It's a pleasant way to pass some time. It's like I had some fun with it watching the action, but other than that, it's not really something you need to check out. So if it doesn't sound interesting to you, don't watch it. If you're a big Starship Troopers fan, yeah, check it out. You might like it. But that's my review of Starship Troopers Invasion. I will post a link to my written review, and I'll try to add a link to the trailer for the movie. And I guess that's it. So thank you for watching, and have a nice day.